Hello, and today we're going to talk about icing using liquid clay. So there's the one I normally use is this one, which is a TLS or translucent liquid Sculpey. You can always also buy pre-coloured Sculpey, which is this white one here, and then there's also Fimo liquid, but that's more of a gel than a liquid. When I'm mixing icing, I normally use this one, the translucent liquid Sculpey. So to make, and we're going to do it in real time, take a pea-sized amount of clay and then try and guess around the same amount of the liquid clay and mix it together. I've got this kind of paddle tool, I don't know what you call it, but you can use something like a lollipop stick or anything really to mix it together. The trick with this is not to add too much liquid at a time, because otherwise it just gets really messy really quickly. I'll put a bit on top there. Depending how you're going to use the mix, depends how much liquid you add to it. So at the moment it's just a case of mixing and mixing and mixing, and it kind of goes quite rough. So you can see at this stage it's quite textured, so you can use this like if you're making a cake but you want a patterned kind of buttercream top. That's how I'd use that, or on top of cinnamon buns. You can see how it's kind of, you can push it around, it keeps its shape quite easily. But if you want to then use it for icing, you just keep mixing it down to the consistency that you need. And just keep mixing it down. You can still see there. See, this stage here is what I call stringy icing, and this is for if you want to use the tops of lemon drizzle cakes, or you drizzle a pattern, because when you drag it, you see there, it keeps its shape. So if you want to do kind of cross-hatch patterns on top of biscuits, something like that. It's also quite messy. And then the final kind of stage of the icing is you add a little bit more, keep going. And you can see now it's lost its stringy, it's still stringy, but not as stringy. And you just break it down to whatever consistency you want. You can see there where the consistency is much looser. If I do that, it's a much looser consistency. So it's just a case of practicing and mixing and just seeing where it takes you. Same thing. Okay, if you mix too much, you can keep it in a jar. I keep it in a little plastic pot, any food safe pot you can get like condiment pots, like 4 for £1. So depending how much you're going to use, if you're going to use quite a lot, sometimes it's worth making up a batch and then just keeping it in its tub. I just keep adding to it. It's like a never-ending pot. There we go. So for this one, I'm going to use Fimo gel to show you that it's pretty much the same. And this time I'm going to use pink clay. So the same thing, about a pea-sized amount, and just mix it so it's nice and soft. And because this is a gel, it works a little bit differently, but it's still a liquid, and you'll still get the finished results, the same results. So you've added the liquid clay, and then just mix it. See, this one's not quite as easy as the white, but we'll get there. A bit more. So we're almost at that first stage where it's a rough, what I call a rough buttercream effect. So it keeps its shape. And with the gel, it just tends to be a little bit stiffer. So you see, that's where we were with the white at the first stage, where you can make shapes into it, and it keeps its shape. So if you want to do a fancy kind of cinnamon bun stage, this is really what I'm calling. So then we'll add a bit more. And you want a dropping consistency where you can kind of make the stringy consistency. If you make it, and then if you can leave it overnight or for a few hours, it tends to firm up a little bit. So it just where it might appear too soft, it firms up, makes it slightly easier to do the effect. There you see where you've got your strings, and then all you do is keep adding and then that's your, well, it needs a little bit more, but then that's your icing consistency. Maybe add a little bit more to that. That's better. And then you can put that on top of your cakes, any cakes that you're making. There you go.